Experience senior living inside Chennai from Elements starting at rupees 85 lakhs. Call 9790399039.
Srimati Lomina Rajiv, Senior Officers of the Air Force, members of the Board of Governors, students, teachers, parents, alumni. A very good afternoon to all of you. And I must say it's wonderful to be back in the school where I pretty much did most of my education. Now, we are marking 70 years of TAPS. By a coincidence, I also happen to be 70 years. So when I look at the school's history, it was I'm not entirely sure whether I came back after picking up my school certificate when I passed out. But I do want to say when I came back to the building, I knew exactly where my classrooms were. It was really with a great deal of sentiment and an enormous sense of nostalgia that I stand here before you. Now, on these occasions, it's very common to talk about the lessons you learned in school. Actually, to be honest, there's also a sense of lessons you wished you learned, but you didn't. In my case, I think for a person who spent so much time in a world of cultures and language, maybe I should have paid more attention to my Sanskrit classes, but nobody is perfect. So I do want really to all of you, and particularly to the students, to the parents, to all those who are here, but also those who will be connected, who will be watching this event, perhaps share a few key thoughts of what the school means really with the passage of time, when you look back at that schooling period. So here are my 4 key messages. And the first message is that everything they told you to do in school is good and is true. You wish that the preparation, the discipline, the teamwork, the skills, the confidence, even the personal turnout, what was instilled in all of us when we were in this school has stood us in good stead through our life. And what they actually become with the passage of time, to a great deal, they become habits. Habits, to some extent, they become an approach, an attitude, a mindset. And I would say, when I look back at, how I have navigated through life, a lot of these qualities, as you know, I've spent most of my life in the world of diplomacy. And in diplomacy, you are negotiating all the time. And to negotiate, you have to really out-prepare and out-think your competitors. And you can only out-prepare and out-think them if you carry those virtues which teachers tried to instill in us, which is do your homework, figure it out, prepare, try to anticipate what is coming. And those qualities, those habits, as I said, really have stood me in very good stead all these years. But there is another side to life, which is in real life. None of us are alone, however brilliant one may or may not be. And, a large part of my life, and I'm very conscious that I'm here amidst Air Force people in an Air Force institutions, a large part of it is actually what would be considered operations of some kind. Today, it has caught the attention of the Indian public because often our citizens are in difficulties abroad. So, in our own lexicon in the MEA today, we also have, we have Operation Ganga, where we went into Ukraine. Perhaps that's the most famous one, but whether it was Afghanistan, whether it was Nepal, whether it was, what we did in Yemen. I mentioned this to you because there was a second, I would say, set of qualities one learnt in school, which is teamwork. The ability to get along with other people, the ability to spot, in your own peer group and with others, you spot people's strengths and then try to meld it into something which is to a collective benefit. And the third, of course, is organization. And all of us in life, and I say this to all the students particularly, we all contribute to an organization. We all contribute to a collective. Some of us over a passage of time might be leaders of that collective, but we are still all very much part of that collective. And what this school teaches you at the end of the day, what it certainly taught me, was how to prepare, how to be part of a team, and really how to contribute to an organization, and with the passage of time develop the maturity and the confidence and the capability to lead an organization. So my first message again, take school seriously. Listen to the teachers. They actually are trying to din something good into us. And the more we absorb it, the better for us. Now there's a second message. And that, in a way, I give today both as a minister, a foreign minister, as well as a person from the world of diplomacy, which is take an interest in the world. Take an interest in the world because we do live in globalized times. Whether we like it or not, the world has come into our homes. The world shapes everything we do. There was that famous film, I've referred to it in one of my books as well, called Shatranj Ke Khiladi, where two Nawabs are playing chess while the East India Company is busy rolling up this country. And they don't understand what is going on around them. Now, if we are to prosper as a country, if we are to go up as a society, if we are to aspire to the goals of Viksit Bharat, it is important we recognize the reality of the globalized world and how profoundly it impacts us. Now, we saw that during COVID, that something which started in some other country actually came and completely took over our lives for a few years. We see that in faraway conflicts. A war may be going on somewhere else, but its impact actually affects our daily lives. Had we not handled some of the challenges, for example, the cost of living for every citizen of this country would have gone up in the last 3 or 4 years. So this world, the world which awaits the students of the school today, is a radically different world. It will be a world of AI. It will be a world of tech. It will be a world of drones. It will be a world of space. It will be a world of electric mobility, of green hydrogen. It will be dramatically different from everything we know. I know that every generation says that, but this time, believe me, it is the scale of change, the intensity of change, the impact of it on our lives is going to be profoundly different from anything that we know, possibly anything that we can even imagine. So my advice here is, as you go through school, develop an interest in the world. And an interest in the world doesn't need to be taught formally in school. We got interested in the world through music, through books, through movies. There wasn't the smartphone and the internet those days, but today the ability to connect to the world is so much more that it is something the generations which will come, I think they will really define the country by their ability to globalize, by their ability to actually fully take advantage of the opportunities the world has to offer and meet the challenges also that the world presents. The third message I have is really enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself to discover yourself. Because the truth is, when we are in school, at least when I was in school, all of us, we don't necessarily have a good sense of our aptitude. We don't always know what we want to do. There's nothing, that's quite normal. And what school does in a way is it broadens us out, it expands our knowledge. There's a lot of learning we pick up in school outside class as well. And that, I think, when we come out of school, that broader perspective that we have picked up in the classroom, we have picked up outside the classroom. And again, some of it is knowledge, but some of it are also other habits. We are today very ardent propagators of Fit India and Khelo India. These are also habits you pick up in school. And I can tell you, if there is one important lifestyle advice I would give you, stay fit. That fitness is not just it's not just a bodily condition. Your work performance, your alertness, even your happiness, in a way, comes out of fitness. I say this to you as perhaps among, I would say, the most experienced person in the room, but if you can stay fit, if you can play sports, if you can keep your competitive instincts going, there is a lot of good, lot of gain that comes from it. If today in my routine I can get off a plane and get to work and carry on with a 14-hour day, a large part of it is because I make an effort to be physically fit. And particularly if you play some kind of competitive sports, I don't recommend it to everybody, but there's really nothing like a good game of squash to start your day. So I would say that sense of enjoy the school, pick up all the possibilities they are, and discover yourself through that. That is something which certainly is an advice. And my fourth advice, I very much admire the people, it was a great honor to be invited to give the trophies and the recognition for the really brilliant students of the school. And in every peer group, you admire people who do well. They set standards, they inspire others. You learn so much from them. But I also want to make a contrary point. I was presented with a photograph of my passing out. This was the passing out picture. I was in the last row, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. So I want to tell you all, there's also a view from the last row that, not everybody is brilliant at everything every day. And they don't need to have an issue with that. That, again, as I said, this process of learning, of discovering yourself, it will come with the passage of time. It may not come entirely in school, but school is the foundation on which it is built. But through the journey of life, we do discover our strengths. We do, I would say, those of us who can follow our passion and make a passion into a profession are very fortunate, because then we intuitively, we very naturally excel at what we do. But the message which I do want to leave to all students of the school is, these are your foundational years. These are years you don't have to be absolutely certain what you are going to do in life. You are going to go through this passage, picking up things, sometimes absorbing it through osmosis without knowing even what it is you are learning. But you absorb it, you learn from it, you remember it, and it certainly this is really the foundation on which you as a person are built. So I say this really not as a formality, not as a platitude. All of us perhaps owe the school more than we owe any other institution or any other body in our life, other than maybe our immediate family, sometimes maybe more than our immediate family. That what we are, as I said, without sometimes even that self-awareness, is because of the habits, because of the atmosphere, the ethos of the school. It is what we pick up here. It is these formative experiences which make us what we are. And I'm really today delighted to see so many of you. I mean, I've always had the belief that this school particularly was always a very tight fraternity. I can see that before my very eyes. Once again, I want to say it, for me, a great privilege, a great honor to come back to the school, to indulge in that nostalgia, to have you all here listen to me. Once again, I wish the school, I wish the students, I wish the teachers, the alumni all the very best. Thank you very much.